What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help support the channel. So when Chris Bumstead retired from competitive bodybuilding, which happened last year, he did mention that he's gonna stay involved in the bodybuilding and the fitness industry in some capacity. And he's gonna give it back. Not just to the sport, but especially to the athletes in classic physique division. The same division that helped him grow so much and helped him become the biggest bodybuilding star, not just of the modern era, probably of all time. So we're gonna have to wait and see what he's up to in that regard for the upcoming Mr. Olympia. But for now, he did just 2 huge signings for his supplement brand, Raw Nutrition. So the first one is Keone Pearson, the reigning 212 Olympia champion, who is one of the most popular bodybuilder in the entire pro league at the moment. And the way his physique has been looking, you can almost guarantee that Keone is gonna become 3 times champion in the 212 come October. And there is a high possibility that Keone is gonna win the Men's Open Olympia too someday. So that is a big breaking news that Keone Pearson was hinting about a few days back.
Beautiful moments so I can look back. I want to have these moments where, you know, my future kids can look at this stuff later on in life and be like, hey, that's daddy. That's... You're gonna get all that shit.
And the second guy, that is none other than Chris Bumstead's former rival and 2 times Arnold champion, Terrence Justin, who is someone who can give us the biggest surprise at this upcoming Mr. Olympia in classic physique, and that is by winning his first ever classic physique title. So this is what Terrence has been working for throughout these years, and the man also made a very difficult choice of skipping this year's Dubai Pro Show, and he gave up a huge paycheck, the biggest paycheck of his career, and that was because he needed more time to bring up some areas in his physique, to especially challenge Mike Sommerfeld at this upcoming Mr. Olympia. So 2 very big signings by Raw Nutrition, and that will make them more relevant, especially now that Cbum is no longer competing. Next up, we have an update from Behrouz Tabani, about 12.5 weeks out from this year's Mr. Olympia, looking so incredible, especially in terms of conditioning, weeks after winning Dubai Pro Show. So if we are being 100% honest here, most of us will be very shocked if Behrouz Tabani makes it to the US and competes at this upcoming Mr. Olympia, especially this year, when the ban has been imposed on Iran especially. And the question on where Behrouz Tabani can place at this year's Mr. Olympia, that has now become sort of a mystery, since all we can do at this point is just speculate. Now we do know that the physique that he brought at this year's Dubai Pro stage, that is good enough to place somewhere in the top 6 to top 7. But he certainly cannot place top 3 at the Olympia this year, or I'm gonna say even top 5. Because to even place top 5 he has to show up with considerably bigger legs from the front. He needs more quad sweep. And you have got to give him massive respect that he doesn't miss a beat when it comes to being a bodybuilder 24/7. Although he is still very uncertain whether he will be able to present this physique and whether he's gonna get to compete against the best of the best in October. So that 140k in the prize money, that was way too big for Behrouz Tabani to do shows like Italy Pro or Portugal Pro, although we know he would have won both these shows, and that too with quite some margin. So this post-show physique of Behrouz Tabani, where Milos' coach must be giving him plenty of food, that is very impressive. And have a look at the size of that waistline that Milos always refers to, one of the best in the game. So another physique update brought by Quinton Beastwood, now that he is just 2 weeks out from this year's Tampa Pro Show, but this particular one that was taken when he was 4 weeks out. So kind of seems like that the whole self-coaching thing that has been working exceptionally in his favor, and that is going very smoothly up until now. And 2 weeks is plenty of time for the body to make some major changes, especially when everything in regards to training, the meals, they are 100%. So no back shots revealed by Quinton as of right now, which could only mean 2 things. Either the back isn't looking as impressive as he wanted to, or maybe he wants to shock us all on the stage by showing up with a much better back. But if you guys ask me, It's probably the first one, because that has always been a major weakness for him ever since he came onto the scene. So the size combined with that shape, that is so damn incredible on Quinton. Yes, his stats are pretty clear that he hasn't been able to win any pro show so far since he started competing as a pro, and that was back in 2017. But the man saw some very close calls. Even his best look last year, which was Toronto Pro Show, he was second behind Akeem Williams. So Quinton is a type of athlete who can get very peeled inside out, and he's gonna struggle to look hard and full in some areas like the chest. But the posterior chin, more specifically the lower half, that is gonna be dry and absolutely ripped to the bone. So the main challenge for him that he needs to overcome during the prep is to make sure that he keeps all that off-season size, all that muscle that he put on, and he doesn't lose a lot of it while he diets down, especially in the last couple of weeks. And so far the updates, they have been very encouraging that the man is on his way to present possibly the best package of his entire career in Tampa Pro in 2 weeks' time. So that empty stomach low carb look for a 230 pounds bodybuilder, that isn't something that is very impressive, especially if you are competing in the men's open class. Now I am referring to this 2.5 weeks out physique update from Justin Shier, who is gonna be stepping on this upcoming Tampa Pro stage for the very first time since the Olympia back in 2023. And although this update isn't a very impressive one, but then the other one that he posted after a good pump and more food, that gives you a totally different picture of how the man is looking right now this close to the show. So Justin has got some very big expectations to meet, since Justin is coming back to the stage after a gap of 18 months, and he did set a very high standard for himself by winning his first pro show, which was Chicago Pro. Now we know he's gonna be among the most beautiful physique in this year's Tampa Pro lineup, and is working with Justin Jacoby at the moment, who has done a superb job with Tony Burton, dialing him in very well, not only this year, but since these guys started working together. So it is gonna be really interesting to see how he compares with a guy like Quinton Beastwood, as both these guys have similar strengths, which is being very aesthetic and having very beautiful lines. But Quinton also is way bigger and way more aesthetic, and both these guys, they do not have the best backs in the world. So around 2 weeks back, Roly teased the fans about a potential comeback, and considering his age, it's pretty understandable that he was referring to the Masters Olympia. And here is how huge he's looking right now, next to an active top 7 Olympia competitor and one of the most consistent guys in the men's open division, William Bonac. So Roly and Bonac are currently on a tour in India, and keep in mind, this is a prime level William Bonac who just competed a few weeks back at Dubai Pro Show, and Roly looking very round standing next to him. That is pretty damn impressive. So Roly has been training very consistently, eating very clean, and the man must be back on some sort of gear as well. And that is why we're seeing his body rebounding very well. So the fans would be so thrilled if he makes the announcement that he wants to compete again. I think Roly was the freakiest bodybuilder that we saw in the last decade or so. So Big Ramy was a lot bigger than him. Ramy also had better shape and better flow than Roly, but some of the poses of Roly, like the front relaxed and the most muscular, they were simply too good. Not to forget, he had some of the best arms, probably of all time. So he's looking pretty damn good for 49 years old, and for a guy who retired back in 2021. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.